Hello, 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 everybody. Hope you are all doing well today. My name is Justin Luffy, the E Professor, and today what we are going to talk about is the ever-changing, consistent thing of change. And the reason I thought we would talk about this today is really kind of simple, and it would be because I don't know what real estate's gonna do. We it's one of the tougher years to predict. We have people saying it's gonna be a strong, another selling season. We have some people saying that we may or may not be out of the recession, right? So we don't know. But the one thing we do know is there will be change that happens. And I do like to make sure that everybody is well prepared for that when we get that moving forward. The common thing that we hear a lot of time in real estate is shift happens, and that is definitely true, right? The markets go up, the markets go down. We have to be able to be ready, have to be agile for that particular moment. And so I thought it'd be a good idea to talk about that today. So here in the short little bit of this session, the five basic points that I thought we would try to talk about in here in a relatively succinct manner is I think there are five things that we need to be able to do to be ready for change. First and foremost is have that good attitude. Second, have that adaptability muscle. Third is to be a lifelong learner, or what I basically tell everybody is have a growth plan. John Maxwell is a big proponent of having that growth plan. Three is then building a supportive network, right? Do you have a mentorship group? Are you watching things like this? Going back to the growth plan, do you have a mentor, so to speak, like in books and reading and other stuff you're doing? And then, uh, you know, being able to reflect. Reflecting is definitely a huge conversation with that. So, those are the five things that I want us to make sure we are talking about today. So, again, the reason I kind of talk about this today is we need to be able to be change agents for our clients. And if we're going to be change agents for our clients, we need to be change agents for ourselves. So we need to help do that. And John Maxwell says, embracing change is an essential for growth and success. So let's explore how that looks for us in real estate today. So, again, number one, cultivate that positive attitude of change. There is something in John Maxwell that has the law of energy, and there are detractors and attractors to that energy. And you're not going to get away from either one, but we do want to know what helps us, what motivates us, what keeps us moving forward and still feeling energized every day we get up. How do we keep doing that? How do we keep moving forward in that world and keep going in there? So we need to find a way to have that positive attitude, that motivational, transforming attitude that will help keep us through any of those challenges that exist in our markets, in our life, in in whatever comes our way. So what I'm going to do is challenge you a couple of things in here. One, I want you to be able to come down here and list. And if you feel like putting in the chat box, for those of you guys that are following along with me live, if you want to put it in the chat box, I want you to sit there and name some of those things that you're looking at that is more of a negative thought process in your brain, right? What are those items that you're struggling with, or that you have a negative spin to at this particular moment? So think about those, write those down on a piece of paper, write them down. Again, if you want to, put them in the chat box, even in the comments if you're watching this at a later moment. Write those in there. I want you to write those things. And the reason I want you to write those things that we are currently viewing in a negative light, I want us to then be able to change them and put them more in a positive light, more of a here's how I can look at this, here how I can adapt, here's how I can change to do that. So I was thinking about this myself earlier. What are those challenges in there, and looking forward to those changes that are out there. And really, I'm going to use the last year's example. Last year, the year started extremely slow for me. So I was looking at the business opportunities that were missing in my business and the things that were missing for me to do on an everyday basis. And in complete candor, it was definitely a stressful moment for me. But the one thing that I kind of looked at it, and I reshifted my brain just a little bit in here as I reshifted that thought and started saying, okay, well, the day-to-day training is slow, so that means I get more opportunity to start focusing on the online presence that I so desperately need to get done, right? I'm always traveling, I'm always in cars. It means I can't build this stuff. Well, now I get to focus on that. Now I get to focus on those those things that I have been negligent on. So that's a shift in the brain, right? That's how we can move forward and just shift that a little bit and start focusing on the other thing. So that's just a slight example of one of those that, write those negatives down there, put two columns in place, write what you're thinking of right now, and write a reframed thought process on how you can look at it today. Two, let's look at strengthening that at your at the not going well today. Let's focus on that change muscle, that quick focus adaptability muscle. There we go. We finally got it out. Let's focus on the adaptability muscle that we have in. And what I want us to do is look at it. John Maxwell tells us or has a law of rubber band. And it basically, that law of rubber band essentially says one thing. It says it's not useful until stretched. And that's true for us, right? We've got to continue to find ways to find new challenges in our business, new new ways to grow, new ways to become that bigger, better agent, bigger, better person, right? We need to be able to find those ways. So what I want us to look at in here is take a moment in this month and start looking. And when I'm saying this month, I do mean the next month in that what it is. But let's look at this way of what is there a new technology I need to be implementing? Is there new a new marketing strategy? Is there a new networking strategy? Is there a new lead gen strategy I need to be evaluating and experimenting with and trying doing this stuff and trying to focus on the next best thing, right? So what are those things you're doing? And it could simply be what soft skill that you're looking for to grow your business or yourself in as far as this goes. So again, if you have ideas, put things in the chat box, put them in the comment box. I'd love to hear from you as far as this goes. And we can always learn from each other as far as this goes. But so this one isn't as hard for me. I'm a tech guy, so I'm always challenging myself with new technologies. Opus Pro is probably one of the quickest ones I've been playing with lately to help do this. Gemini is the Google Assistant that I have been playing with a little bit. Been doing AI quite a bit ever since the beginning, but I'm an early adopter tech guy for that perspective. So that's one of the things I'm always doing in there. But as far as other things going, the big muscle that I am challenging myself this year too is a weekly content improvement, right? So every week, every Friday, I'm doing things out there, whether or not I have things going on that day or not, or irrelevant. I'm actually really much focusing on trying to get those done. And it's been extremely intentional. So that's where my stretch is this year. So just so you guys get an idea, and I'll probably give you examples throughout today's class on that. So that's two. Three, invest in lifelong learning, i.e., have a growth plan. What are you looking for? There's what's known as a law of process. It reminds us that development is a daily journey. So, what we want to do is have that commitment, right? What are we looking to do? What skills are we looking to focus on and grow and become better and bigger and stronger? Um, I'll be honest, NAR has a lot of designation certifications, and I think they all have value, but I don't look at it to have a designation or certification so I can have quote unquote the alphabet soup behind my name. I look at those values as skills that we need to get better on, right? Um, in the last few years, NAR has been really good at giving deals and discounts on various ones out there when they're timely and useful and something that they're trying to help us as an industry grow with. So you always want to look at those, see if there's something in here. Identify those skills that you want to look at and change in there. Maxwell has what's called the law of the lid. You have a leadership growth essentially in there. And the only way you're going to get better or become the expert in something is trying to grow your strength and manage your weaknesses. So I'm always trying to figure out what skill sets I am better at and I need to get better on, right? Become the more proficient person, technology, speaking, communicating, things like that. Same for you guys. What are the ones you are good at that you're trying to become the expert on? Are you good in your community that you need to learn more about that? Are you good in communicating or lead generation and relationship building? Grow those skills. Find ways to become better in those worlds. And I'm always happy to do that. There are things like DISC and different mentorship and mastermind programs that are always out there that I can help either start myself or get you involved in to help that move forward. But those are some of those things that you can look to do. And I do encourage you when you're looking to have that growth plan, put it in your calendar, put those items in place that will help you identify what you're trying to do, right? So every week, every month, I won't say day, that's excited, but every week, every month, lay out time, carve out time that you need to put in there to get that education, that growth focus in your area. And it could be simply as just practice too, right? Where you could come out there and practice. Role playing is a big thing for us. So you're going to want to look at that as well. So, and again, invest in that lifelong learning / growth plan. 4, build a supportive network. Have that group that you go with. It could be on social media. Facebook has many, many groups in there. Always be careful because not all of them are the best, and some of them do things we should not be doing in real estate, but always be good for that, right? Have those in place and put them out there, but have those supportive networks. We are, always, there's a very common perception that we are the sum of the 5 best people that we hang out with. So what does that look like for you? Who is that? Who are you connecting with on a daily basis? Is there leadership in your office? Is there leadership in your local associations, state associations, national associations? What are you doing in there? Is it local chambers? Is it a local business networking group that you are meeting with and going with? I would also say, especially going back to the top one, if you are looking to get into a growth plan, lifelong learning, there might be programs that you can get in, people that you reflect with. There's a lot of great learners out there for you that they have their own groups that they are communicate with on a daily, weekly, monthly basis that you could get involved with and be a part of that. I would always recommend joining or even creating your own mastermind groups in there. Look on there. I will have in the comments below different places that I think are good places to go and join for that. But I would do that. And then if you're going to be in those groups, don't just be a watcher, be a participant, right? Add your insight, ask questions. Again, I'm part of John Maxwell. I'm a John Maxwell speaker, trainer, and coach. And we have Facebook groups. We have a big landing page of website stuff. And it's really, really powerful. It's really, really good. And I love it that I get in there. I don't get in there nearly enough, but when I am in there and I'm active, I'm always energized. I'm always feeling like I want to take on that next challenge. And that's huge, right? To keep that energy moving forward and helping that progress for my business. And the last in here, practice reflective adaptation. So really what that means in here is have a process, a weekly process, a monthly process, a semi-yearly process, a yearly process for review and reflection, right? What day of the week are you sitting down and looking at your day or your week and evaluating the successes and measure what you're doing? You need to have those plans there. Now, you don't know always need to be harsh on yourself because sometimes things take a while to progress or show signs of success. but you do want to have some sort of reflective planning in there. Um, Starting a journal is always a great idea. Having a day to sit in a quiet place and review, have meditation going on, having those systems in place are going to help you sit back and access and evaluate the success and failures of what you're doing. And don't look at failures as a failure. I can't do that and be judgmental about yourself. Look at them as opportunities to improve. Remember, in the very beginning, look at things you're looking from a negative slight and change it to a more positive opportunity. So those are the things that we want to do, right? So, with that being said, the 5 things that I want you to make sure you're doing when you're being a change agent is I want us to have a positive attitude. Cultivate that positive attitude. Strengthen your change muscle, your adaptability muscle. Invest in lifelong learning slash have a growth plan. 4, build a supportive network, have a mentorship mastermind group that you're working with, either ones that already exist or ones that you want to create on your own. They're always great opportunities. And then reflect and review, practice reflective adaptation. These are really great opportunities for you to be that change agent. So when those change comes, and they are coming, they're always coming, you will have the ability in there to be successful, and those changes will not paralyze you. So with all that being said, thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate your time. I appreciate everything you do. Let me know how I can help you in the future. Let me know where you're at. If you haven't already, please subscribe to wherever you're at, either on my pages, but this is always live on YouTube. It's always on Friday. The time is always a little different in there, so you never know. But if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the bell button, and in the comments of wherever you're watching at, write the next questions that you have for me. Help me help you do this, and that will help me identify the next topics for the next classes. Next week, we actually know what's going on, and that's how to essentially how to start as a new agent or get unstuck. So I will see you next week. Welcome from St. Charles.